they're ignoring like the destruction of their own nation. Small minorities make the biggest differences, really. But Japan is in a place where England was 40, 50 years ago.
Hello.
Hello.
Fred.
Ken.
Ken. Nice to meet you.
Hajimashite.
Hajimashite.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. Tell me about how to reconquer UK.
Specifically, what do you want to know?
Because I have English viewers, right?
Okay.
Some of them were like English, so
Sure.
Tell me your plan to reconquer your land.
I don't have a plan at all. I have no ability to make any influential decisions or anything like that, really. But I think what's necessary to do in England is to re-educate people to care about their own culture and care about their own nation. Because at the moment, people in England are just obsessed with going to. If you're a white guy in England, you're obsessed with going to Ibiza and having a designer handbag and wearing the correct tracksuit and getting your teeth fixed in Turkey and getting hair transplants and stuff like that. Nothing against those things personally, but people are obsessed with materialism and they're ignoring the destruction of their own nation because it's more comfortable to just pleasure yourself endlessly.
I mean like that, yeah. I mean like if there is let's say 60% of the men in UK think the way you think, I think everything's gonna flip.
You wouldn't even need that many, really. Like in the American Revolution, it was only 3% of people that were actually doing any kind of fighting.
Okay, then if you could spread your message like that to the world, I mean to the UK, you can actually flip your country. Only 3%.
Well, it's small minorities make the biggest differences, really. Like if you look at the Soviet Union, it was taken over by a tiny minority of people. And they took over the entire nation of Russia.
Like few percent.
Yeah, not even that. Not even that.
Really?
Tiny groups of people.
But tiny people, you had a lot of influence.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you look at a bullet can is very, very small, but it can cause a lot of damage and move very fast. Big groups of people, they're often hard to move together and to get everybody on the same page. So often and if you have a dum-dum bullet, that's a bullet with a harder piece of metal inside that can penetrate even further. So the smallest groups can make the biggest impacts, I think.
It's like Jesus Christ had few more disciples could change the world.
Absolutely. I mean, look at how we're ruled by a tiny elite of people that make all the difference.
So why is my question is, right? All it takes is to change the mentality of the young boys in UK, right? What's stopping?
What's stopping is that people are, like I say, just educated to only care about their own individuality. And in England, people don't have a sense of who they belong to or that anything other than the football team is important or what they can just get for themselves is important. That's the whole point of professional sports, is to distract you away. The reason why people cry when their team is losing is because really they feel like their tribe has been defeated, but really they're putting their feelings that they should have about politics and their nation onto a meaningless game.
I'm a little bit sad that Manchester City and United they're fighting to each other.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad to play a game.
Game is game, but they hate each other, right?
Well, they don't like each other, but the fun comes from the rivalry between them.
But the thing is, when the UK is literally collapsing, you can't be putting your energy so much to the football games.
Absolutely. But the problem is that people only discover this after it affects them personally.
But for example, in Japan, it's only 3% of the people are foreigners, right? So the effects are not really seen.
Yeah.
But UK, how do you not see the effects of this?
Well,
problems?
we do now, but we didn't see it coming 30, 40 years ago. And Japan is England has always been more unruly and less organized and less cooperative than Japan is. That's how we are. We still. But we're much more like that. We're much more disorganized now. But Japan is in a place where England was 40, 50 years ago, and you can't see just down the road what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I know. So Japan, I understand that Japanese people doesn't understand yet. But for the British people, why are they not, even especially boys, why are they not waking up?
Well, we are now because it's being forced on us, and we can feel it all personally. It takes it.
Oh, okay.
It takes it for someone to grab you by the neck and say, "Hey, this is involved in your personal life now."
Yeah.
And then suddenly you care, but people are too wrapped up in their own personal thing. They need to go and do a job, and they need to get by and make money and have a car on finance that they pay for £500 a month or whatever.
All right.
Because they're more concerned with their own status symbols, and that's what happens when you sell professional sports or when you sell sex constantly in the media. These things are pushed in you to distract you away from what's important.
So like, how do you? So because like you're the teacher basically, because you have some influence.
Sensei desu.
Yeah, sensei. So you're like your account, your YouTube channel and Instagram. You're teaching these kids, right?
I wouldn't say so. I started from doing this type of work where I'm protecting people who are doing political type YouTube channels, and then naturally, because I have my own opinions, they start to come out when people are in these videos, and then people admire that because I'm standing up for myself and prepared to physically take action, but at the same time I want to express my political opinions.
Oh, so you were doing bodyguard for the YouTuber, and then you had to start it like talking about politics and stuff.
Exactly.
Obviously, you read a lot of books. Right?
I don't know what a lot is. Maybe people have read more books.
I mean, like as far as I'm listening to you, you read like Japanese Gorin Five Rings also.
Yeah. Gorin no Sho.
Okay. So like,
Sashimi Ota.
How do you think that British boys, young people, are changing? Because if they don't stand up now, literally UK is gonna be gone.
Yeah, this is our last chance really, because at this point we're still the majority. But if you look at like Britain is like I forget what it is, but it may be like 10, 15%, 20% foreign.
Yeah.
Right. But if you think about our population, a third of them will be old people.
Yeah.
And a third of them will a tiny minority will be tiny babies. Like the majority of babies born are born to part foreign parents.
Yeah.
In the UK. So right now we still have the majority and the ability to do something about it. But in the future, these people are outbreeding us. The average Pakistani family is having 5 or 6 children, 3, 4, 5, 6 children, and we're having 1, maybe 2.
I gotta start organizing a bunch of stuff.
Uh huh.
If I don't, use a minute.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. No, it's okay.
Don't worry, it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sayonara.
Bye, Taylor.
Subscribe.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. What was the question again? Yeah. So we have the ability to do something about the problem right now.
So like, how is it like? Because the situation right now in UK, I think that young people has to like literally like take action.
Well, the problem is that we're educated to believe that caring about your own ethnicity is bad and being racist is bad. But really, racism is the basis for any nation. Because in order to people are group animals, and in order to have a group, you must have someone that's that is outside of your group. Yeah. So that doesn't mean necessarily you have to hate the other people, but it means it's like who are not racist, right? Tigers are not racist, bears are not racist because they're like one-man armies. They can do everything for themselves. Whereas monkeys, we cooperate with each other in order to survive. Yeah. And so you can't do that. Really, if everybody is in your group, then then no one's in your group.
So that's the wrong mindset that they have brainwashed the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like look at football, right? The other teams may dislike each other and play games against each other, but that actually is the beauty of football: is that everybody has their own particular team that they support. Yeah. And even though you might be opponents with someone, in a way, it almost brings you together because you have this thing in common. Because everybody, like let's say if you have a child and I have a child, right? If someone says, "Do you want your child to die or my child to die?" you will choose your own child to live.
I mean, like.
And why is that? Because he's genetically similar to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so your genetics want to go forward and spread themselves forward.
I mean, as long as it's not like racist, like to insult somebody. I mean, it's normal things.
Well, it's not nice to insult anybody. You don't have to insult anybody in order to care about your own group. And you can't survive. Your group can't survive unless everybody works together in order to help each other.
So, like, basically, like, do you think this message? I think reasonable to me.
Yeah.
But do you think like the young people in UK starting to realize what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say so, because other groups are not educated to believe that their group is bad, their group is evil, right? So other ethnicities in their country, they've got no problem being like, yeah, go Pakistan, go Congo, go wherever, you know, because they'll wave their flag and be proud of where they're from.
Yeah, they're
You know?
immigrants.
Yeah, and they have no trouble saying, "Oh, we're loving themselves first." You know, and in order to love someone else, you have to be able to love yourself first at the very minimum.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, and like, you know, you have your own house and I have my own house, and we can be friends. But if I decide to move into your house, and even if I'm your best friend, if I decide I'm going to permanently live in your house now, eventually we'll become enemies because.
I mean, yeah, it's even if it's a good friend, you need certain distance.
Boundaries, exactly.
Boundaries, yeah.
Yeah, and every gang, look at gangs. When gangs get too big and they start to encroach on other people's territory, that's where violence occurs. So I'm for nationalism in every country. Everybody's got every group has the right to do their own thing in their own way and live how they want. You know, and that's fine. Like Saudi Arabian people can live in their particular way and express themselves how they want, and they would never tolerate someone coming there and telling them that they have to act a certain way or be English or anything. So it's only us that have to apologize for our right to exist.
I mean, like, this is like the same problem for like all the first world nations.
Yeah.
We were educated like that, and you were educated like that. I think in America also white people are educated to be like white people are bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but like it's changing, right?
Yeah.
Like my question is, I want like actual process of like the reconquering, like taking the UK back. So basically, like the British boys have to make a lot of babies. Do you think they can do that?
Of course they can do it. Everybody likes to fuck, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is without condom.
Yeah, well,
Finding a right partner, that's very important.
well, look at when the introduction of the contraceptive pill, that removed all the consequences for having sex.
Yeah.
So now you can have as much sex as you want and have an abortion, or take a pill the next day and it's gone.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you end up just living just for pleasure.
Yeah.
You know.
But the thing is,
in the past, you had to be choosy about who you were going to be with, and then with that person, you know, I'm not saying it was a perfect world in the past, but it had its advantages, and we have our advantages now. Now we can have like a fun life or whatever. But how long is it going to last? Like if our people don't go on into the future.
Yeah, reproduce.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, do you think that young generation of British people are making babies? I mean, English people, native.
Yeah, I mean, we're just about replacing ourselves now. Just about, maybe just under replacement. Not as bad as you, but I think the economic circumstances make it very, very difficult.
I mean, like the thing is, you can live in the countryside, like make a lot of babies. I mean, if Pakistanis could make babies, you could make a lot of babies.
Well, absolutely, that's true. Absolutely, that's true. And most people,
It's just mindset,
people living in poor countries where the situation is very bad, are having many children.
Exactly.
But in order to live at the certain level that we've become accustomed to, it's very difficult to provide for 11 children. Like my granddad was one of 11 children.
Oh shit!
And he had 4 children himself.
Yeah.
And then my mother's had 2 children, and I've only had 1.
It's like, okay.
You know? So you see the trend. Is like,
well, you gotta make better babies.
Yeah, well, I
mean, because like the children don't need to go to university because you can learn a lot of stuff from internet.
I wouldn't go to university ever. It's a complete scam.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why I think having 5 babies is what you need for food and clothes.
Yeah, well,
it shouldn't be too hard.
Well, it had its disadvantages in the past as well. Like times were hard, and you had famines, and you had poverty and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But you also had its advantages in that people view themselves as being part of a community. You know, and when you have 10 children, then when they have children, now, if you're living as a family unit, right, the pressure is on just the mother by herself to look after this child and provide, you know, whereas like lots of these people from other countries coming here, if they have a trouble with their own children, they can pass it off to their sister or to their cousin to look after. So they're creating a whole community of people that look after. I don't hate on them for that. I think that I respect that. That's the normal human way of going about things. But they come from the old world because they come from a more backwards place. So they're living in a way that's more natural to
I mean, conservative in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that the Japan and like UK also, we have to like go back to more conservative. Like, there's something that we can learn from third world. For example, like just like let your kids, go to when you're working, send your kids to your uncle's house or your cousin's house.
Yeah. That's how you establish links with your own community, by being involved with your own family. But most people are living like, mum, dad's at work all the time, mum has to work as well, and then also look after the child. The child's being looked after by a childminder at a nursery,
It's like we're like too individual.
Yeah.
Like Japan, so like we used to live with grandpa. You know,
Yeah.
when you have like 5 children,
Yeah.
and you're at work, grandpa and grandma used to help
Yeah.
the wife
Yeah,
to
yeah.
educate or take care of these kids.
Yeah.
But now we live separately from grandmas.
Well, this is a tactic. The whole thing is it's a tactic. So if you invade someone's country, right, they will resist you. Yeah. But if you destroy them from within, then they can't resist you and they destroy themselves. So if you take away people's links with their own community, then they make them believe a self-defeating myth about their own nation, then you don't have to even fire a shot. People will just become individual and atomized. And like I say, because people are group animals, we rely on each other to survive. And so when you break people down, you get rid of their allegiances to their country, their family, their community, their town, and their links with them, then suddenly they're isolated.
So like I think that the problem we have, UK and Japan, is the same because we are exactly the same kind of attack.
But we're more advanced than you. We're further.
30 years.
Our cancer is bigger than your
Our
cancer.
cancer is small, and your cancer is like 30 years growing up.
Yeah,
big.
but cancer starts from just one cell dividing wrong.
Yeah.
And then when your immune system is compromised, then the immune system can't destroy that cell, and then the cell gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually it takes over the whole host.
Yeah, exactly.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. So like I think that what we have to get back is like, communities.
Yeah. Well, the whole plot, you got to remember, it's actually to the benefit of everyone else. What I'm talking about, because the whole plot is to make everyone from everywhere, and no one then is from anywhere. So when you blend everybody together, then people have no links to each other, and so then we'll enter a global world where you have region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4, and then you have nothing. No family, and that's what if you look at Marxism and communism or whatever, they want to even destroy the family unit. So that
That's disgusting.
if you read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, the children are created in test tubes and then they're sent to nurseries where they're all educated to be, according to the caste that they're meant to live in, and they all take a drug called soma, and so they don't have any like everyone's girlfriend is everybody else's girlfriend, everybody has sex with everybody else, etc. So they want to remove all the links between each person, because then we're easier to dominate.
Oh, so like as a human, we're group animals. So if we lose the link from another human, we become weak.
Yeah, exactly. Because the whole history of the world is other countries or certain people trying to dominate the world, often by force, and sometimes they even get very far, like the Nazis or Napoleon or Roman Empire or Genghis Khan. They try and do it by force, but eventually they stop. And because they fall apart and it doesn't end up working, because they end up losing a battle, and then the empire falls. But so they realize that if they make us defeat ourselves, then we surrender before any fighting has even begun.
That's a very intelligent way to invade.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've tried it so many times before, and come up with the same problem.
All right,
so they have to try a different approach.
But if we know how they come to attack us, we can fight back.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And also, like we know that migrants from a third world are doing well in first world.
Yeah.
That's you said that we have to learn from them.
Yeah.
Right. For example, like taking over the education system.
Yeah. So the migrants don't take over the education system, but it's the leftist academics that teach this type of mentality, is that we're all the same. There are no differences between anybody. The family is a made-up structure. Private property is a myth. All this type of stuff. And so these people later go into positions of power and end up making the laws that make this type of thing a reality in the real world. So they wait 20, 30 years, and then all of a sudden this is now policy.
Yeah, it's important for, we have to learn from them, and it's important for them to send conservative teacher to the school.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what is conservative? To keep it, to hold on to it. That's the idea.
If that's the way we can influence the kids.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Racism, I think, really brings everybody together, because it does. It does, because
when a British guy says it, sounds really crazy.
It does, because it's what everyone has in common. Everybody everybody has their own group and their own family that they're a part of, and you can relate to them, because you can say, well, they're like me because they are also for their own nation. So look at how we bond. We're not part of the same ethnic group or the same culture, but we can see the similarities with each other, and how we want to have. We're looking for the same things, but and so we can relate to each other on that. Even
This is
though-
like categorizing me, us, and other people.
yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing: you can like people talk about, oh, we have to have diversity and inclusion or whatever, right? But real diversity means actually having difference. And they say like diversity and equality are the opposite of each other. Like equality means the same, and people are not the same. People are different. People are unequal. Some people are smart. Some people are dumb. Some people are beautiful. Some people are ugly. That's just the way of the world. But that's what makes it so amazing.
Yeah,
is the difference. That's why it's in. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be fun for me to come to Japan because I'd be like, oh, this is just like everywhere else.
Yeah.
If everywhere's the same, then it's boring and dead. And
That's just not diversity.
and the difference is like, you go to Somalia, you go to South Africa, and the difference is they speak a different language, they have a different culture, they have different ways.
Yeah.
And that's what's so good about going. That's why you want to go on holiday in the first place. Otherwise, you may as well just stay in your same country
Yeah.
and sit in your house and just watch TV.
So it's like that real diversity means that UK has to be UK, Japan has to be Japan, Italy has to be Italy.
And then we can appreciate each other and be friends.
Yeah.
Like if suddenly, like even if loads of English people were coming to Japan,
Yeah.
eventually you'd be like, what the fuck? There's so many fucking English people everywhere.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be wrong for saying that. You'd be like, there's too many
Exactly.
fucking English people.
Yeah.
Everyone's speaking English on the streets now.
Yeah.
That's not fucking right.
And you-
The same,
you-
and if loads of Japanese people turned up in England, I'd be like, right, fucking get these Japanese people going home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if my friend stays over for too long, I'm like, right, dude, you got to go home now. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's common sense.
Otherwise, we can't be friends.
So basically, I want to wrap up this quick, but I think that what we just talked about is like very common sense. But the common sense that we couldn't talk about it past 10 years. Now with the internet, we can talk about this. The common sense, we should speak out, and it's nothing racist about it.
Yeah, well, it is racist.
Oh, well, like,
But that's
or
good.
nothing evil about it.
There's nothing evil about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Because humans are made up of different races. Every time you look,
Can we say- can we-
one second. Look at wildlife campaigns. Yeah, they're like, oh, save the white rhino, save this animal because it's going to go extinct or whatever. Because they want to appreciate this animal that still exists.
Yeah.
You know, look at what happened in America, right? We came over to America, the Europeans, and so now the Native Americans, they're gone, almost gone.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, shame.
You know, obviously, I'm not against America what it is now. We live with the situation that it is now. But if it's not right for us to go over there and destroy the Native American culture, right? Then it's not right for other countries to come to our country and destroy our culture as well.
Yeah. Third world coming to our country and destroying our culture is not good.
Yeah, and I don't blame the individual person coming here for that. It's not up to them. But someone higher up is organizing this type of thing.
Well, we have to fight. So I would say that, UK and UK, America, Germany, Japan, we have same enemies. Let's fight together.
Ikimasu yo.
Thank you so much.
Banzai!
Banzai, Fred. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
no worries.
Subscribe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.